Okay, so coach, first of all, how are you feeling the gym now?
Hey man, for me just the culture of European basketball. You know, man, Bayern is a legendary club. So the opportunity to be here in this arena, there's a lot of characters. It's got a lot of many years of just winning tradition. So it's an absolute pleasure to be here and good to have the lights back on.
Yeah, so what brought you here?
Man, me and Coach Morris, man, we go back a few years. You know, Coach Morris is very similar to me. His approach to the game, his love for the game, his passion for teaching. And we've been communicating for about 3 or 4 years. He tried to get me here last summer and unfortunately I had knee surgery. And I said, look, man, we're gonna make it work this summer. I want to come out and spend some time with you and your coaches and some of the players. And it's been an absolute pleasure to be here.
Yeah, so you work with a couple of youth players, with some professional players. What's more fun?
To me, man, any athlete that wants to get better. My love for the game doesn't matter, male, female, young, old, you know, elite, beginner. Any athletes that wants to play basketball and want to learn, man, I always have a great time teaching.
So off-season is all about getting better for basketball players. What would be like 3 things that you would recommend to players, any level, what's important to do in the off-season?
Yeah, I always tell players any level. Ball handling, footwork, and shooting. Those 3 things, right? And not in that particular order, but every athlete has to understand how to dribble. They have to have good footwork. And then shooting is a really big part of the game. So I tell every athlete those 3 areas can lead you into all areas of the game. But ball handling, footwork, and shooting are the main areas that I try to focus on every day.
Yeah, so important for young players if they want to make it, and for players who made it to keep making it is the work ethic, obviously.
100%. Listen, it's hard to make it, but it's harder to stay. I tell people all the time, for players to make it, you know, NBA level, it's hard to get to the NBA, but it's harder to stay. Sometimes people make it to a certain level and then they get complacent. You can't get comfortable. If you want to be successful, I don't care if you're in high school, you're in college, you're playing pro basketball. If you want to be successful, you have to have a supremely high work ethic.
Yeah, who was the player you worked with who had maybe the best work ethic?
Ooh, this will surprise a lot of people. Look, LeBron and Kobe, you know, those guys are extreme workers. But Matthew Dellavedova is probably the hardest working player that I've ever worked with. I mean, he would literally try to run through a wall. There were times where we had to kick him out of the gym because he was one of those guys. He wasn't supremely fast, he wasn't super athletic, but he got every ounce of talent out of his body because he worked supremely hard.